Hello everyone, Scotty Colley, West Ham Fan TV, back again with a big match preview. Today I'm previewing the West Brom game, London Stadium, Saturday, 3 o'clock kickoff. Not going to be an easy fixture. West Brom are a tough side. Obviously, earlier in the season, they turned us over up at the Hawthorns 4-2. One of the worst defensive displays I've ever seen by Masuaku. You know, he was a nightmare. The whole team was terrible that day. You know, and they run out fully deserved winners. But we've moved on since then. You know, a great pick-me-up win at Southampton. You know, Southampton had a stop-start recently. You know, picking up good wins in the cup and not doing so well in the league. But a good performance, a good win away from home. You know, perfect way to bounce back after the Man City game. So we need to carry that on now. You know, we've got to be on our game in this one. We've got to be on the ball. You know, West Brom will try and dominate the game. You know, they'll try and make it hard to break down. They'll try and pack out the midfield, keep the ball and catch it on the break. So we need to make sure, you know, we don't allow them to settle. We make sure that we win our personal battles. We shut them down in the midfield as much as possible and don't give them no time and space on the ball. You know, so it's going to be an interesting encounter. West Brom form-wise, obviously last time out they were 1-0 winners over Stoke. They've only lost 2 of their last 6, and I think one of them was against Tottenham, where they got hammered 4-0. The other game was in the FA Cup, you know, so in the league they're doing all right. You know, they're sitting 5 points above us at the moment, 1 place. So it just goes to show the good season that they've had and how Pulis has made them hard to beat. So it's going to be tough. Looking at injury-wise, obviously we're without Ogbonna and Sacco. Sacco, I think, slowly returning to training now. You know, it'd be good to have him back, another boost in the side, but I don't think he's due back till the end of March, beginning of April. Nordveit, Byram and Arbeloa are all back and should be fit. Obviously, Andre Ayew's returned from the Africa Cup of Nations, so it'll be interesting to see whether he does feature. We'll probably see him on the bench, you know, they probably won't start him. Give him a bit of rest after that. There's doubts over Carroll, Creswell, Chekiote. You know, we're all 50-50 for this game. You know, they've picked up small knocks after the Southampton fixture. But, you know, we'll wait and see. We've still got a couple of days left till the game. So hopefully they're all fit and all available. You know, it was a big boost having Czech back against Southampton. Carroll has been absolutely on fire. So we don't want to lose him at this crucial time. So fingers crossed they'll make it through. West Brom are almost fully fit. I think there are doubts on Johnny Evans and Jakob, so you know they're almost at full strength. As I said, it's going to be a tough one. West Brom will play a 4-5-1. They'll play the 2 holding midfielders, which will probably be Livermore and Fletcher. When we played them in that 4-2 defeat, Fletcher just sat in front of his defence and he didn't move, and he just picked up the ball, picked passes, picked people off when they were running at him. You know, a bit like what Obiang does. And Obiang against Southampton was immense. So, you know, we've got to make sure we dominate that midfield and don't give their holding midfielders any time to try and pick passes or catch us on the break. Rondon will probably play up top with Morrison just behind him. You know, Rondon can cause us problems. Big, strong, powerful centre forward. You know, a tricky character, but I think Reed and Font will be able to handle that. You know, as I said, it's going to be a very, very tough game. They're going to be hard to break down, but I think our confidence at the moment, our pitch at home, you know, it may benefit us on this one. Starting 11-wise, you know, with these doubts, it's a bit tough to pick. For me, if everyone's available, you know, all the 50-50s, they're back available, I'd still stick with the 4-4-2. I'd go Randolph in goal, Kyoto playing on the right, Creswell on the left, and obviously Reed and Font in the middle. Obiang and Noble as the holding 2. Snodgrass on the right. I'd bring Lanzini in for Feghouli. Again, Feghouli for me hasn't done enough in the last 2 games to warrant a start. To be fair, I think he would have missed out in the Southampton game if it weren't for Lanzini being rested. So I can see Lanzini coming in for Feghouli and Carroll continuing up top with Antonio. You know, I'd like to see us go back to the 3 at the back, but as I said, the performance against Southampton, we don't need to change it. You know, and so long as we dominate the midfield in this game and, you know, work hard to get the ball back when we lose it, I think we'll be all right. Saying that, as I said, it's going to be a very, very tough game. I don't see a lot of goals in it. I said, with the amount of draws we had it's against them, it's going to be tough. But I'm going to go for a 1-0 win, West Ham. Andy Carroll will pop up with the winning header, you know. But as I said, I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a 0-0 for a very, very long period of the game. And I think we're going to nick it in the second half. Don't forget to leave your comments below on your score predictions, what you think the starting 11 should be on this one, whether you think Feghouli should be dropped or whether he should start. Don't forget to check out all our other videos. We'll be filming fan cams directly after the game. There'll be a post-match pint going up sometime Saturday night because we'll be straight back to film that. On the socials up, Ryan and Graham on that one. Dan and Jace will be doing the FIFA predictor. So just check them all out. Follow us all over social media. Check out the website, westhamfan.tv. And one thing left to say, come on you irons.